in Doha. We've included it again this year, and it's been even more successful because we have actually 20 entries this year, which is a record number. And there we go. Here we are. Okay. 20 submissions. Now, the thing is with 20, the question is, do you really want to have 20 presentations here? And the answer was no. And so they finalized, we've pulled it down to just 3 finalists. And IATA didn't do this. We had a panel that helped us with that. And it's a cross-section from, they're diverse from different places. Luis de Oliveira, who's the head of the Latin American Airline Association. Paul Ferguson, who's a Qantas airport guy. Nicholas Peter Esti from Airbus. Jean-Paul Camus, who's an ex-CIO of Air France. Steve Allen, who we'd hoped to be here, but is back in Dubai. And then Daniel Helledy, who's from Boeing. So it's this group that actually came up with who we would have. I believe we have 2 of the members here. Peter is here. Peter, would you stand up? And is Dan in the room? Stand up there. Thank you very much. I don't think we have any of the other panel members here. So we get to see the 3 finalists now. They actually are Swissport International, which has an idea called Lift Suit. iBoardings, which is the lost and found checker. And Atology, which is jet bridge monitoring. So all the IGHC delegates will decide who ultimately is selected as the IGHC 2019 Innovator. But to help you determine who you should vote for, we're going to have a 10-minute presentation from each of the 3 innovators. So we're going to go to the other slide. And do I advance it? No. I'm not seeing it on my screen. That's the problem. So it's Florian Eggenschweiler from Swissport is going to be our first presenter. So Florian, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. Pleasure to be here. My name is Florian Eggenschweiler. I look after the innovation programs at Swissport International. One of our focus areas at Swissport is improving the employee experience through innovation. We heard it this morning in the keynote speech. For us in the ground handling industry, employees is our single most important assets. That's why we really try to find ways to make the workplace more attractive, to increase employee satisfaction, and thereby also reduce turnover. At Swissport, we're fortunate enough to have a central system of accident and injury reporting across our over 300 airports. And we've gone through thousands of reports from across the globe to figure out what is the single biggest source of injuries causing people to miss time at work. And it turns out to be back injuries amongst baggage handlers. Roughly half of our 65,000 employees across the world work on the ramp, and the vast majority of them load bags day in, day out. And it's no surprise that across their careers, roughly 1 out of 12 baggage handlers experiences back injuries, not just pain, but injuries. And I think what's hard to grasp for those of us who've never worked on the ramp, and I'm sure many in here actually started their career out on the ramp, is that on average, a baggage handler lifts 4 to 5 tons per shift per day. On peak days, up to 10 tons. 10 tons, that's a lot. And the fact that a lot of airlines continue to allow checked bags up to 32 kilograms certainly doesn't help. So no surprise that injuries happen there. And the thing is, the problem isn't about to go away anytime soon, because aircraft bulk hold ceiling height will continue to be 1 meter for decades. A meter, yeah? It's really, really narrow. Even the latest aircraft designs coming off the production line that will be flying for 20, 30 years are going to have this limitation. There are some solutions out there, especially for the baggage haul, like lifting aids, vacuum suction-based systems, or even first robots, but there's very little solution so far for the bulk. So we at Swissport, we've gone out and started to work with the Department of Health Science at the Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich, Switzerland, which has decades in experience in rehabilitation of patients, as well as assistive exoskeletons. And we wanted to develop a solution that prevents and reduces musculoskeletal injuries. And I'm glad to be presenting to you today what we've come up with, the lift suit. What the lift suit does, it reduces and reroutes the load that a baggage handler experiences during his or her work. It's very simple, the way it functions. There are 3 elements: a torso element, some elastic elements on the back, as well as some thigh cuffs on each leg. So as I bend down to pick up a bag, the elastic straps, they store energy, and as I get back up, they release the energy, kind of catapulting me back up. And what this does is it causes less muscle activity, which leads to less muscle fatigue over time, which then reduces the injury rate. It can be used in both the baggage haul as well as the bulk. But so far, the most positive feedback that we've received from employees from the bulk, which is great because that's otherwise we don't really have a lot of solutions so far. We've been testing this extensively through various prototype iterations out on the ramp, but our colleagues from the university, they've been doing lab tests in parallel. They've connected some sensors to different parts of the back to measure muscle activity. I don't have a medical background, but apparently these are the muscle groups that you use when lifting bags. And as you can see, muscle activity is reduced between 15 and 50%, depending on which part of your back. And again, less muscle activity leads to less muscle fatigue, which leads to a lower rate of injury. So why are we so excited about this at Swissport? There's various reasons. First of all, it's comfortable to wear. It was very important to us that this is not developed by some university lab and then they show up one day. No, we had them work in very close collaboration with a group of baggage handlers to ensure that it's not only effective, but also comfortable to wear. That you can wear it in winter time when you wear multiple layers, as well as in 40-degree summer heat without sweating additionally. Only if it doesn't itch, then workers will actually wear it without being told to do so. Then it's very easy to deploy. You don't need to send anyone to a classroom. I can literally explain to you in 5 minutes how it works, how you adjust it, and you're good to go. Then it's quick to get in and out of. This is very important that if a worker goes on break or toilet, that it doesn't take 10 minutes to get in and out of. So again, that they keep using it voluntarily. It's effective. It's a low-tech solution, so you're not going to be some sort of Robocop that can all of a sudden lift 100 kilos, but it does just what it's intended to do and does so very effectively. And then I think another point that excites us, this is actually the only project in our innovation portfolio that doesn't involve IT. So no need to get IT security clearance, no need to install upgrades, updates, or otherwise deal with bug fixes, yeah? Deployment is a lot quicker. And then last but not least, the simplicity of the design means that we can also keep production costs relatively low, which should lead to a low price point so that we can hopefully make it affordable, so it becomes the standard of our PPE for our ramp workers. Yeah, if you're interested to learn more, I'd love to tell you more all about it. You can come to the Swissport booth in the exhibition. I'll be there over the next couple of days. You can try it on yourself, see how it works. And if you think this is some good stuff, I appreciate it if you vote for us. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Florian, thank you very much. Very interesting presentation. Our next presentation does have a little IT involved, I believe. Jose Luis, come on up.
Buenos días a todos. My name is José Luis Cámara. I'm the CEO and founder of iBoardings. iBoarding is a Spanish company that designs solutions for improving the passenger experience and the airport operations. I'd like to thank the jury for selecting us as one of the 3 finalists, because it's really exciting to be here, to have the opportunity to share with all of you what we have done to improve the passenger experience. This is our second time here. Last year, we were at Qatar. We were finalists with our cabin baggage checker. Our cabin baggage checker is a tool to improve it's a tool to help airlines and airports to handle the cabin baggage nightmare. But this year, we are here with our new product, okay? With our second product. We are in a competition about innovation, okay? If you want to innovate, you need to find the pains. If you find the pains, you will have the opportunity to create products that customers love. And we find the pain. We find the second pain in one of the most disturbing steps in the airport environment. This is the lost and found objects process. This process is really disturbing, is not standardized, and is inefficient and time-consuming. The chaos with the lost objects at airports. And we try to imagine a new situation where a passenger doesn't have to spend too much time to find the right way to recover their belongings. And we could help the airlines, the airports, and the handlers to eliminate the hassle with the object loss management. With this in mind, we designed a machine that, using artificial intelligence, analyze any kind of objects, and with minimal human intervention, will help airports and airlines to manage the lost and found process, introducing innovation in an updated process. We are using the same technology that we use in our cabin baggage checker. Our proposal is a hardware. It's a hardware that, along with the software and using artificial intelligence, as I said, will help to automate the lost and found management process. The device will develop the whole process with the cutting-edge technology, touchless capturing, scale integrated, diminish the amount of claims, speed up the return to passenger process, etc. And will make a photo for every item scanned. Benefit of using a lost and found device will help to manage one of the most disturbing steps at the airports, help to deal with information, improve refund rates, save resources, save space, diminish the amount of claims, speed up the passenger item recovery process, and facilitates storage and claims for damage. How the device and the system operate is really easy. Introduce the object in the device, and the device will analyze all the possible characteristics of the object: the size, the weight, the shape, the material, the texture, the color, the model, the type of the item, will develop a photo, the date, etc. The info obtained, it will be sent to the cloud, and in the cloud we will have a photo of every item, and we will have all the information about that item. And if you want, if the customer wants, you have the possibility to print a tag with RFID in order to identify easily the object. The software, once the info is sent to the cloud and with minimal human intervention, the software itself will analyze the info that the passenger will introduce in the system by the airline airport websites, and the system itself will develop the whole process in order to send the item to the passenger. The only moment in which it will be human intervention will be the moment in which the item is found. Okay? The system will automatically email the fake and real photos to the passenger, and we will try to develop the whole process without human intervention. If you want more info, we are going to be at booth 1, where we have there our cabin baggage checker, and we will help to answer all your questions about this new product. Thank you.
Another interesting idea. Our final of the 3 comes from Rob Shaintoller, and he's going to talk about your idea.
Buenos dias. Rob Shaintoller, founder and CEO of Atology. I'm going to talk to you today about what we're doing with helping to turn the aircraft on time. So what do? We leverage computer vision and artificial intelligence to turn really all sorts of physical operations into digital data, information, and actionable insights. So think about a digital twin of any physical operation. And in a lot of cases, we're going into facilities and companies that have really done nothing this sophisticated with this technology, as well as some that are quite sophisticated and either able to deliver a self-contained solution for the first time or round out investments they've already made. So the problem we're trying to solve in aviation is reducing the amount of delays and all the cost that comes from them. Despite the fact the plane generates a half a terabyte per flight, somehow we still have all these delays. So clearly there's something else we need to figure out. So what we're focused on when we look at the gate turn is really kind of completing the picture of all the information required to improve ground operations performance, and hopefully ultimately not just being on time, but reducing the time required to get an aircraft out. So how are we different than a lot of technologies out there? One thing is we don't connect to anything. So we provide a solution that really is designed to be completely observation-based and passive. And the other thing from years of experience in a variety of operations is, last time I checked, there's a lot more going on than just equipment or smart things, right? There's people who do the work, and they're generally working with materials, in this case baggage, to get their job done. And so really we turn passively collected data into actionable insights that help the workers and supervisors get work done better right now. Oops, I went the wrong way, I'm so sorry. So basically, we provide an entirely turnkey solution. The best analogy I can think of is one of these do-it-yourself home security systems. So we go into any facility, in this case an airport. We provide cameras, sensors. We also do tracking sensors, on-site networking. We've got facilities that I've got a 3-square-mile network running that we're operating remotely, and a cellular internet connection that we manage entirely for our customers. All we need is power. We've actually had to do solar a few times, believe it or not. All that data gets pumped to the cloud, and then we produce real-time streaming analytics. And again, we even have a Chrome stick type device that we can stick a screen anywhere, so people need to use a mouse or a keyboard to take action on the information we're providing to them. We started in manufacturing, indoors, looking at people, equipment, in this case, overhead, looking at 2 work centers, looking at the lights. We look at a lot of lights. Where are the people? What's the position of a door? Goal here was to improve throughput of the operations. 7.5% sustained utilization increase is worth a lot of money in a manufacturing environment. Then one of our customers said, hey, Rob, we got a lot of problems outside the facility. Could you help us get the trucks in and unloaded more efficiently? We now watch thousands of trucks each day get rocks put in them. It's not the most exciting thing. However, we've really been able to help these customers with no knowledge of any of this technology drop our solution in and get a 17% reduction in the cycle time, which is actually more analogous to a gate turn, all with vision-based analytics, reading license plates, no need to identify the fleet beforehand. Everything's done real time. So we've been on a journey since last January. We're a 2-year-old startup. This is actually stale. We're now at over 30 sites with about 700 devices running out in the world around the globe. We're based in California in the US. We're in Canada, Mexico, 8 states, UK, and Dubai right now, and growing quickly. We're deploying about 2 new facilities a week right now. So our heritage is really figuring out how do we turn what people are doing with equipment and materials into actionable data. And we do that in a variety of different environments. We got into ground ops last fall, with Tampa Airport being our first airport, and we're doing what now seems like old hat, which is looking at the apron and keeping track of what's happening out there with vision. So that's great. The problem is, well, there's more than that you need to get the aircraft turned. So, by looking at the apron, we're answering a bunch of questions about the turn. We typically deploy 3 cameras, but we can make by with 1 if we need to. And really trying to look at the nose, starboard and port, and keep a digital twin of the entire process so we can see what's going on, duration of each turn, where are the bottlenecks, et cetera. But then you get into things like, well, if I don't have a fuel truck, where's the nearest one, right? How do I actually fix the problem when I find it? So our current solution that we're building upon is really apron activity-based monitoring. And so just a quick demo, but looking at the airport, drilling in, being able to see for each gate all the details of which equipment is servicing the aircraft, doing it all with pictures and videos so people can see what's happening. One of the nice things about this technology, even though it's machine learning and AI, it's not very black box because people can look at the picture and they get what you saw. So there's no need to ask people to trust an algorithm. They can really see what we're doing, and it's really been great as we do the change management of it. Now when I know there's a problem, I got to fix it. So we're always thinking about how to make the data actionable. In this case, I'm looking at each of the gates, but what if I'm trying to find a fuel truck? Maybe I want to be able to quickly look by asset class and see where things are and sort it maybe by nearest or most available asset. So we're always very thoughtful about not just identifying problems, but helping people solve them. And we do think that the smartest thing in any of these operations are still the workers, right? We're just trying to help the workers be better in any of these environments. So where are we going from here, and what's the innovation we're working on next? So here we go. Where are we going? Okay, so now we need to get into the jet bridge. As I talk to airports, and having been a flyer, I actually hit my 1,000th mile in United over here, and I've got 2 million on American. First time really being in the industry on this side, but have been a frequent flyer over the years. Last time I checked, a lot of delays are caused by things that are happening inside the jet bridge, not just on the apron. So how do we start digitizing these events too? I mentioned before, we kind of started in manufacturing. So we're really good at monitoring stuff inside facilities and looking for people, doors, equipment, et cetera, right? So if I bring that all together, same concept, how do we keep track of all the different activities of recognizing once the jet bridge is connected, all of the activities need to happen to turn the aircraft on time and merge them together, right? You need the whole picture if you're going to do it. And there's always more that you want to get, but being able to bring this to bear and integrate it with what we're already doing allows us to do a couple things. One, we move from monitoring. What we do today is really just helping people know what's going on. But once you've got this full picture, the ability to start using it more as a management system versus a monitoring system really skyrockets because you got enough of a picture of the problem to really help people manage it better. So now that we have both, on the apron and in the jet bridge, how do we do comprehensive turn management, right, by integrating the two? And really bringing it all together and helping people keep track during the turn, what's going on, how am I doing, as soon as kind of issues start arising, making people aware of them. We're already now setting up the context where if I know the airline and the aircraft type, it can set the targets for each of the operations, right? Must start by, must end by. And once we get to scheduling integration, we can actually do it for this turn, not just generically by airline and aircraft. So constantly looking for more of the data that we need to integrate to help customers turn aircraft on time and get them back out the door. The other thing we're finding too, beyond just jet bridge for what it's worth, what about when the catering truck's not there? What's wrong? We're actually getting ready to do our first production facility where they actually produce the food to put in the carts and get the carts on the trucks. So keep thinking about moving further and further back from the actual gate and thinking about all the upstream activities that are required, right, to get an aircraft out on time. We're actually getting ready to do our first air cargo facility. in the facility where the landside vehicles show up with the cargo to be shipped, and we're monitoring the breakdown of it to make sure it gets loaded and back and out onto the airside activities, but we're in the warehouse starting there too. So we're always constantly looking at digitizing the full scope of activities. Benefits, obviously, reducing delays is the biggest one. Increasing efficiency, we're always looking for ways to use the data to not only help people run the current shift or the current turn better, but then how do we take all the data that we've collected for trending to really look at ways to do continuous improvement. Many of our customers come to think of our solution as kind of an industrial, a digital industrial engineer. Constantly running time and motion study, but there's nobody having to sit there with a stopwatch and a clipboard, and really creates new ways for people to learn things about their business they never knew and create continuous improvement. Many of our customers, and you may do some of this in your operations, kind of think about lean operations and Six Sigma. At Atology, we actually consider data entry to be MUDO, it's waste. Right? We have workers that are trying to get jobs done. They're trying to lift bags without hurting themselves. I don't want them on a PDA. Actually, many of my customers ask us to look for when people are on their devices because it's a safety problem, right? So we really can't have these workers being on devices and typing and enter data. We need to actually observe that for them and let them get their work done. And that's our philosophy about everything that we do when we go into these environments. And very commonly, we're dealing with old infrastructure. We require no upgrades to anything. We do have to fix bugs. They're our own bugs. We don't need IT. So we go into many facilities, and IT is welcome to be involved. We literally need nothing but some power. Like I said, we've solved that before with solar. Hopefully all this improves satisfaction for the actual passengers that are moving through the airports in our airplanes. And finally, enhance safety. We have a variety of safety use cases that we've instituted once we've done operational. In trucking facilities, for example, a lot of people get killed each year with trucks backing up. We've now got a system that's instantly alerting and blaring a horn when it sees people outside while trucks are present, because that should never be happening. And we're looking at some similar use cases in the airports too. So that's what I got. Happy to talk to anyone if they're interested. Thanks for your time, and help us improve gate turns by voting for Atology. Thanks.
Great. So that was 3 very interesting ideas, and you're going to have a tough choice, just like our panel of judges did. As I said, it is going to be up to you to make the decision. Nope, hang on. That's where we're going to. You're going to select it. The voting actually opened earlier this morning when there was an email sent out. The sender you're going to see is, quote, International Air Transport Association, but it came from an email address, vote@simplyvoting.com. So that's the legitimate way that you're going to get your ballot. In that, you'll have a link. You click the link, and there'll be the 3 choices and say, which one do you want to vote for? And it also will have a place where you can go and get access to these 3 presentations that you saw here today. So if you're not sure about some of the points, you can go back and look at it again before you make your vote. You click on the vote, it'll come back and say, is this really who you want to vote for? You hit confirm, and your vote's registered. The thing is that, again, because it is a random address, you may need to look in your junk mail, your spam folder, your trash folder. It may have gone there by accident. But if you really can't find it, what you need to do is to go across the hall to the biz zone and say, I'm a delegate, I don't think I've gotten a ballot, can you help me? The key is that you need to vote between now and 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. 1500 on Tuesday, we're going to close the balloting. And then you come back Wednesday morning, and one of the first things we're going to do on Wednesday is to announce the winner, who is the 2019 IGHC Innovator. Now, as they've said, they're going to be around during the meeting, so if you want to ask them questions, you can. If you're going to join me, I'm going to go strap on the lift suit and see how that actually works, test out the claims. And so I think that you've got a good opportunity to make a decision between the 3 choices. I really think that these 3 finalists have done a great job, and I'd like you to join me in giving them a round of applause for their work. Great stuff. Again, that was one of the things we heard in the opening, was we need more innovation in ground operations. Here's 3 concrete examples of doing that. So I want to talk a little bit about what's happening next. If you look ahead, after lunch, we have another innovation for this year. It's the Getting to Know Your Airlines session. It's going to start at 13:30 right here in this room. What we've done is it's a 2-hour kind of a speed dating event between the ground handlers and the airlines. All the ground handlers attending the IGHC had the opportunity to book 5-minute meetings with airlines who registered for this session. We're going to have a seating chart up here on the board that'll say where the airlines are sitting around the room, and the ground handlers will move around. The ground handlers, if they signed up properly, should have received a link showing the schedule of what airline they're supposed to see first, second, third, whatever. And so it's going to be a real kind of a dating circus in here, you know, a speed dating event. Should be lots of fun, but that'll be starting at 1:30. Now, one of our IATA colleagues, Lillian Spanos, is the coordinator for this. Lillian, you're right down there, the lady in the white jacket. If you have questions, see her. And we're actually going to have not only Lillian, but also a number of IATA staff here in the room to help kind of manage the process. It's likely to be lively. It may be a little bit chaotic, but it should be fun and also very useful in getting some quick contacts for talking further later during the meeting. Also at 13:30, we're going to start our breakout workshops. They're in the Paris room and the Toulouse room, which is right down the main lobby, and you make a left at the next corridor. At 3 o'clock, we have a networking break, and then we'll do some more sessions. And then tonight, starting at 5 o'clock, we have the cocktails with the exhibitors. So that's what's happening this afternoon. But right now, we have a lunch workshop, a special one, which is in the bond room, which is right across from the exhibition area. It's sponsored by Sapphire, and it'll start right after we leave here. And for everyone else, we're going to have a networking lunch in the exhibition area, sponsored by Fraport. So that's the end of the first morning of the IGHC. Thank you all again for your attention and participation, and enjoy the rest of your day.